Guys, Dana White just hit me up and he said he needs help with UFC 311, okay? He said, we're looking to announce it soon, bro, but we just need help. We need help with some of the fights. And I noticed, there's only 3 fights announced and they're not the best of the best. So I decided, dude, if you need some help, I'm more than willing to help. Being the ultimate company man that I am, I'm going to help out. I'm going to give him some fight ideas. And let's just get right into it. I think we all know who's going to be in the main event because, it was either December or January. It's Islam Brada versus Arman Tsarukyan, okay? Listen, this is the fight that has to be made at lightweight. There's no bouncing around it, okay? We all know it's going to be made regardless. And it's actually a good fight. It's actually a good fight. We also do have it confirmed pretty much because Arman was caught, talking to Michael Bisping, and Michael Bisping asked him, when are you fighting? When are you fighting, Arman? And he said, I'm fighting in January, okay? So it sounds like January. So I think that's what they're pushing for. I think Islam was injured or something, and so they had to, wait out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, let's just get it over with. I'm not going to talk about this matchup for too long, just because everybody already knows it's going to be the confirmed matchup. But in terms of who I think is going to win, Islam Brada is probably going to win. I'm not going to pick against him. I'm sure, maybe if I put the fossil hat on and I start, looking deep into the tape, maybe I'll find some scenarios where I could see Arman winning and something, but I'm not going to do that right now. We're too far away from the matchup. But Arman versus Islam, decent fight, good fight, entertaining fight, badass fight, the best fight to be made, actually the best fight ever. Let's move on to what I really wanted to talk about, because I want to talk about these fights that I actually made, okay? So, Buckley versus Usman. This needs to be made because you see Usman on Twitter or whatever, dude, he's yapping, he's saying, next in line, bro. Line up, Buckley. Because, I got so many people wanting to fight me. And it sounds like, he's calling out fucking JDM. Or him and JDM have made some sort of verbal agreement. But I don't care about a verbal agreement. Since when does a verbal agreement bother me, bro? That's not what I care about. I care about my agreement. And my agreement is that you two are fighting. Because I don't want to see JDM, who, got laid on by fucking Burns. And Burns looked like a prime Jailton Almeida out there just fucking snooze festing on top of JDM. I don't want to see that bullshit, okay? I don't want to see it, and I know Usman, Usman's not a snooze fest, but I know Usman saw that and he said, well, I just won't get fucking kneed like a moron, right? And then I'm gonna be good. I'm just gonna win it, especially if it's a 3-rounder, I could just fucking, I'll probably just be able to fucking wrestle JDM, and JDM doesn't look like he has the best wrestling defense, bro. It doesn't, just from a outside glance, without doing, years of tape study, it just doesn't look like he has the best wrestling defense. And that's why I have a different matchup for JDM. I'll just say it now. It's for UFC 312. I think Leon versus JDM is better. It's more likely to be only on the feet. JDM will get to utilize his crisp boxing against Leon. And I think it's just a more entertaining fight than Usman, who's going to be, he's going to be shooting for takedowns. JDM's going to have to worry about that. He's going to have the threat of the takedown on the feet. And people will still say, JDM fans will still say, no, Usman needs to go. It needs to be Usman. I don't want to see Usman, even though he's old, even though Usman's old, it's still going to be too much of a risk, bro. Don't put him against a wrestler, okay? Instead, do Buckley versus Usman, which Buckley called for. And Buckley, he's also more well-rounded than JDM in terms of his wrestling. He's got the big football style, fucking American football double leg. And he just seems, he controlled a beast like Nursultan Ruziboyev for the entire fight. You don't do that unless you're a fucking beast. And Buckley, that's what he is. And he's a dual threat. He's got the big fucking meaty hooks, as Lucas Tracy would like to say. But, I just think that this is the matchup to make. I don't think that we can let Usman run away from this matchup because, Buckley has been calling for it. And I think it's a more exciting matchup. In terms of what's going to be more exciting, is it going to be Usman hunting for a takedown, probably getting it against JDM, and then just, half of the fucking time is spent on the ground with JDM trying to get back up to his feet? Or is it going to be entertaining scrambles, fucking, some good striking mixed in? That's what I want to see. And maybe we can make this a 5-round co-main event if you want to. I think it should just be 3 rounds. That would be more entertaining in my eyes. But let's move on to the featured fight, which is Ian Garry, Colby Covington, okay? And why do I want to see this fight? Because it's obvious that Colby Covington's ducking Ian Garry, which is just embarrassing to even think about, that he's ducking fucking Ian Garry. He's ducking Ian Garry. Really, this is the fucking level we went to where, you know, you're the biggest trash talker in the UFC. You're the bad guy. But, hey, at least you back it up, right? You don't back it up anymore, bro. That whole narrative that, listen, Colby talks a lot of shit, but, you know, he backs it up in the cage. He doesn't do that anymore. So, you know, let's fucking go for the guy who you've been trash talking. And Ian Garry's obviously in on this fight. He's been wanting it. He's saying, you know, Colby's ducking him. I think they were trying to get this for like the Tampa main event or something in December. So, you know, it looks like Colby doesn't even want to fight by the end of this year. So let's just do it January. That's your last chance to have this fight, January. I want to see it. LA, we're going to have Usman on the same card. So, you know, there's some trash talking opportunities. It's a welterweight showdown. And this is what we want to see. This is what the fans want to see. The fans would be fucking... This would increase pay-per-view buys by at least a couple trillion, okay? A couple more trillion people would tune in. You'd start getting the fucking casuals to tune in. You know, Colby Covington's here. Ian Garry's here. They're going to fucking, you know, it's going to be a big trash talking thing. And either way, we're going to see one of these guys, you know, get humbled. Not that we're humbled, brother, where we care. You know, we want to see him get humbled so badly. We don't really want to see... We just want to see one of these guys get shut up, okay? You know, because Ian Garry's a bit annoying. Colby Covington is a bit annoying, too. You know, Colby Cochran, he's all right. He's a good fighter. But, you know, he's really not anymore. So, we got to see if Cochran can back it up. Let's see. Let's do this fight. No more running, bro. No more ducking. It's just cringe at this point. So, let's make this fight. Fans want to see it. I think it might not play out, though, as we expect. Because, you know, we're expecting it's probably going to be, you know, a decent fight. But it might be boring. I'm not going to lie. Because both of these guys can be boring at times. Especially, bro, Garry goes for the fucking nerdy, high fight IQ game plan always, bro. Fucking, you know, he's not a brawler. He's gonna go for the nerdiest fucking way to beat Colby Covington. But let's move on to Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker. This needs to happen, okay? It needs to happen. I'm hearing some bullshit about Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier 3. Are you fucking kidding me? When I hear that fight, when I hear Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, I don't go, that's a war. I go, are you fucking kidding me? No one wants to fucking see that. And I want to shake them by their fucking heads, grab them by their fucking ears, and just rip them apart, bro. Like, why are you fucking insisting on fighting each other constantly, bro? Dustin is not the fight that everybody wants to see, bro. We want to see some new, fresh matchups, especially at lightweight, where it seems like every fight is a fucking rematch. You know, you got Chandler versus Oliveira 2. What, like, the most pointless rematch. And you got, you know, obviously you got the Dustin fucking Justin thing going on. You got all these fights going on. You know, now they're talking about Dustin versus Hooker. I don't want to see that again. I'm sorry. It was a great, very good fight in the first fight. But just because this is the problem. Just because a fight's good doesn't mean you got to keep remaking it. Oh, let's do that again. How about we go for a fight that is guaranteed to be good in Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje? This is going to be a good fight, and it's the fight that I called for when Dan Hooker got his big win at Australia, whatever fucking number card that was. I don't remember now, but listen, this is the fight that I think most of the fans would want to see. There are some of those fans who say, you know, Dan Hooker, Dustin needs to happen again. I don't want to see it again, bro. I don't want to see it again. I don't care to see that. I want Dustin versus, you know, somebody else, bro. Somebody else. Just not fucking Gaethje or Hooker. I don't want to see that bullshit again, bro. But listen, I think Dan Hooker would win this. I'm not going to lie, but I do underestimate Justin Gaethje a lot just because I'm not the biggest fan of him, bro. I'm not the biggest fucking fan of this guy. I don't understand why people are such big fans of Uncle Gaethje, bro. He's just, oh, but he puts on a war every time. He puts on, you know, you're going to be a fan of him. Yeah, he puts on a war every time, but he's a fucking bot, bro. And he's fucking sloppy and, I'm not the biggest fan of him, bro. I'm just not a big Gaethje fan. But do I have to, you know, am I going to say, you know, Gaethje sucks? No, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a competitive fight, probably. But Dan Hooker would win it. Okay, Dan Hooker would win it. And if you don't do Moicano versus Gaethje, which I've heard some people talking about, which, you know, I think Moicano would win that too. But, dude, I'm just too biased against Gaethje. But do this instead. Do this if you're not going to do Moicano versus Gaethje. This is also good because, you know, you got some lightweights here. Right? And winner of this would be, you know, title shot. Because, you know, you can't really, even though Gaethje got fucking slumped against Max Holloway, right? You still can't count that against him, right? He was just there. He was probably next in line for a title shot. So, you know, this would determine who gets to fight for the belt, most likely. And, yeah, let's just do this. You know, title eliminator. Good title eliminator. Let's move on, though, to another fight. Yair Rodriguez versus Arnold Allen. Okay, this is one of those fights where, Yair, I love this guy because he has probably the most entertaining striking in the UFC, in my opinion, right? And he's an elite striker that, people, they like to overlook it because he sucks at grappling. He's not the best grappler. He gets fucking ragdolled and, tossed around and folded up like a fucking pretzel, right? And then you got Arnold Allen on the other hand, who, in my eyes, isn't the most entertaining fighter, but is a very good personality. He's a good, he's personality maxing. The thing is, Arnold Allen has a great personality, but his fight style is pretty good as well. He could just fight a little slow-paced at sometimes, in my opinion. But this is a hard fight for me to pick, like, who I want to win, because, I do love Arnold Allen. He is a funny guy, but I also do like Yair's fucking striking. And I don't know. It would be a hard fight for me to pick who I want to win, but I would probably pick, in terms of who I think's going to win, I think Yair would win this. Okay, I think Yair would win it because the striking is very elite. And unless, guaranteed, or granted, not fucking guaranteed. What am I saying? Granted, Arnold Allen does have that, that high fight IQ sometimes where he might lean towards the grappling. He might utilize it, but he didn't utilize it against a guy like Giga. At least from what I remember. He didn't utilize it there, but that's because he was beating him on the feet. He didn't really have to. But this fight, I've heard some talk about it, it was going to happen earlier this year. Or not earlier this year, fucking later this year. But it doesn't sound like this has been, mentioned. It doesn't sound like, there's any talk about it actually happening, right? There was just some rumors, some whispers in the air. And I think, why not do this January, and we would have it in LA, right? Which is, where it sounds like the fucking January event's going to be. And that's perfect because, Los Mexicanos, they can come over and they can fucking see Yair Rodriguez fight. Because, last time they saw Yair fight, he got beat by fucking T. City Ortega. He got fucking slumped and fucking, bobbled a couple times and fucking choked out. Right? He got fucking choked out in front of his home crowd. So let's fucking, let's give them a show. Let's give them a show. That's what this fight is guaranteed to be. A fucking show. This is going to be a good show. Okay? It's going to be a good show. Let's move on. Roman Dolidze, Paulo Costa, okay? Instead of fucking feeding Paulo Costa to the wolves again and going from, well, let's go from Whitaker to Strickland. Cause, that makes a lot of sense. Let's give him fucking Izzy this time. No, give him Izzy now. Instead of doing that, let's do Roman Dolidze, okay? Because Roman Dolidze, is this guy a layup? No. He's not a layup, despite the fact that, people have to say, oh, he fucking sucks, he's fucking terrible. He's really not, because at least he dedicates his fucking entire life to it, okay? He dedicates his entire life. He's fucking sleeping and breathing MMA. He genuinely thinks in his mind he could be, fucking double champ if he wanted to. So, he's gonna be a tough out, but it's the closest thing we could get to seeing, Costa actually get a win, okay? Because we don't want to see him go all the way to the fucking bottom of the barrel to get a win, but we want to see, a decently competitive fight, and I think at this point, that's what it is. That's what this is. There's going to be some entertainment because, Costa's going to bring it. Roman Dolidze, not much of a trash talker, but he is, he's chilling in the mountains, making a fucking steak sandwich on Embedded, in the mountains, and he's a chill guy. He's a chill guy. He brings a chill vibe to this, the whole thing, and he's ranked in 2 divisions. I mean, what a fucking beast. How do you get ranked in 2 divisions unless you are literally the top of the top elite fighter? So it's definitely a hard fight for Costa. We don't want to overlook it by any means. And I actually don't know if Costa would. At this point, I don't know if Costa would win it. I know he said he's going to try and change up his style, go back to the fucking killer Costa after he lost the Sean Strickland fight. But I don't know if that's true, bro. I don't know. I think he's a little too patient nowadays. He's a little too scared what's going to come back to him. But, against a guy like Roman Dolidze, you don't have to be so scared, bro. So maybe he could go back on a little fucking streak. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's move on, though. Payton Talbott versus literally anyone. Okay, literally fucking anyone. Because I've made this matchup a couple times where I've said, Talbott, let's get you in there against Yanez. Let's get you in there against fucking, I've heard Vinicius Oliveira. How about let's get you in there with fucking anyone? Because it seems like after getting a 13-second knockout 70 months ago, you still don't want to fight. What are you doing? What are you doing after the literal bottom of the barrel can, Giannis Gamori gets knocked down in 13 seconds. You go, what do I want to do? Keep fighting or go on dating shows? I'm going to go on fucking dating shows. Like, this guy is almost like OG Yuri Prohashka in the sense that, you see that you fucking love this guy. He's entertaining. At least I do, right? He's entertaining. I think he has a cool personality, cool little quirky personality. But you don't see this guy fight, right? He can get a 3-second fucking knockout and he'll disappear. He'll get a cool, amazing knockout. He'll disappear. But instead of, vanishing into the fucking Czech Republic forest, the Czech fucking forest, and, doing a darkness fucking retreat for 3 days, he's just doing a dating show. Instead of doing something badass like Yair is when he disappears, he's just doing a fucking dating show. This is what you're doing instead of fighting? Are you kidding me, bro? This is what pissed me off, and we need to see you get in there. Ideally, like fucking next month, but you still don't want to fight for some reason, so let's do you versus anybody in January, okay? No excuses. You could go to LA, which is like near where you fucking live, Reno or whatever, and I'm sure, you'll attract the LA crowd because they're a bunch of fucking goofballs or whatever, fucking weirdos, but, listen, this is the confirmed fight. I'm not going to talk about this shit for too long. This is one of the confirmed fights. This is the elite of the elite heavyweight right here. Okay, imagine saying this. Like, this is an elite heavyweight right here. Sergey fucking Spivac, bro. Jailton Almeida is gonna run through him. Jailton Almeida is actually decent. He's good. Yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit, bro? This is, yeah, let's hope Jailton Almeida gets a fucking submission, because if he doesn't, that's pathetic. But Johnny Walker versus Bogdan Guskov. This is another fight that's confirmed. I just wanted to show, he looks like Victor Zaz, does he not? Does he not look like Victor Zaz a bit? Okay, I know he looks like Anthony Smith too, but he's got the Victor Zaz from, Arkham City, go to the game. He's got that kind of look, right? So, that's cool. I just wanted to point that out. Awesome. Anyway, who would win this? Actually kind of hard, because Johnny Walker, I feel like, bro, there's no way he gets brutally knocked out again, bro. But it's probably going to happen. I have no clue. This will actually be a decent fight, because you're going to be scared for Johnny Walker to get fucking brutally, goofily KO'd again, which he probably will. But let's see what happens. Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Shamil the Blob Gaziev. This is what I added to the card. Because, listen, Waldo Cortes-Acosta, we saw him take down Despain, right? And fucking dismantled Despain, and he fraud-checked Despain. And we all thought, Rebellis Despain, that guy's going to be a future fucking beast, bro. And then when Waldo Cortes-Acosta was eating some fucking shots from him and fucking emoting on him, throwing up the fucking middle fingers and shit, and, come here, you fucking taunting him. And you looked like Prime Khabib out there with Rebellis Despain, just holding him down all fucking day. And then you realize, well, maybe that was a one-off event. I'm sure Rebellis will win his next fight. And then Austin fucking Lane beats him. So that's when you realize, okay, never mind, Rebellis is just actually terrible. So let's do, instead of putting Waldo Cortes-Acosta, giving him a fucking top 15 matchup or something, let's do Shamil the Blob Gaziev, okay? One of my favorite fighters in the world. Let's do him versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. This is going to be the battle of the fucking, the Brutuses, okay? Waldo Cortes-Acosta, he's a little bit of a pipsqueak at the heavyweight division. And you go in there with a guy like Shamil. Shamil's not going to have any mercy for you, brother. He's going to fucking hold you down. He's going to pin you down. He's going to brutally mock you. And he is the ultimate taunter. He's going to grimacingly, he's going to grimace at you and fucking march you down and tear you apart, okay? So let's see that happen. I know a lot of people don't like Waldo Cortes-Acosta because he, taunted on Andrei Arlovsky and a bunch of people. So let's see, let's see Shamil Gaziev try to humble him, okay? Because, humble brother. Let's see him humble him. Let's see him fucking scare the shit out of Waldo Cortes-Acosta. And then we got this matchup. Fucking, whatever. Who gives a shit? This was announced as well. Fucking, this motherfucker. I forgot this guy's name, but he has a cool little, what's his name? Muin Gafurov, maybe? That might be a female fighter. I honestly don't remember. But he has a cool little hair patch on the back of his hair. So fucking, on the back of his back. He has a cool hair patch there. And that's it. Rinya Nakamura is probably going to win this, though. But that's it for the fucking fights, guys. Listen, let me know, did I cook up, this is mainly for Dana White. I'll probably make this a public video, though, but this is meant for Dana White. I'm sure now that he gets these fights announced, he's going to get these fights announced now that I gave them to him. So, you expect to see this probably in a day or something. Maybe at the end of UFC 308, you'll see him announce all of these fights, because I am the matchmaker of the UFC. I'm not the best matchmaker. I'm just the matchmaker. I'm the one making the matches. I did make some shitty ones, Oliveira versus Chandler, too. I just, I was fucking, I don't know what I was thinking when I made that one. But listen, let me know if you guys enjoyed these matchups. Which one do you think is, guaranteed has to be on the card? Which one, has to be made? And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.